Universe. So first of all, I'm not a big fan of the Masters of the Universe film from the 80s and the show, and I know there's like an animated series of it and all that. So I have no affiliation to He-Man and the Masters of the Universe at all. I kind of came into this movie completely blank. So what did I think of Masters of the Universe? Actually, this is a really fun film. I had a great time. This is my kind of movie in the sense of that it's a sci-fi kind of epic adventure, coming of age, but it's also very comedic at times, and sometimes the comedy doesn't work, and I'll get into that later. But it is trying to have a lot of fun, but it also feels like the stakes are real. And what I mean by that is like the fight scenes in this film are so cool, so action-packed, and so entertaining. Sometimes movies like this that have sort of a goofy and wacky sort of approach to it can make the action feel, not really impactful, and it feels just kind of like an afterthought. The action means something, and it's like potent and visceral. And that is like in the first Lord of the Rings movie, The Fellowship of the Rings. Like, remember the scene where Aragorn gets the shield thrown at his throat and he's like stuck against the tree and that orc's like trying to cut off his head? It just feels so high stakes.
Not flesh.
That's what this movie does so well with its action scenes. It doesn't take the action lightly. When someone gets hit or punched or like gets slashed with a sword, like there's real things that happen to that character. You get some action movies and they get shot at like 20 times and, they get up and they're still running. You're like, what? Like this movie, as ridiculous and corny and cheesy as it is, it takes the action and it takes it seriously. And I love that about this film. Travis Knight, the director of this film, has done 2 other movies that have been pretty good. He directed the animated film Kubo and the Two Strings, which is an awesome film. And then also probably one of the better Transformers movies of the last like 15, 20 years, which is with Bumblebee. So having him do this kind of film, I thought was like spot on perfect for him, and he did a great job directing this movie. Like I said, the action is really great, the visuals are awesome, the cinematography is well done, and what I also really love about this film is the set pieces. They feel very real and lived in. Yes, obviously there's a fair amount of CGI to this film, but you could tell like where they didn't need to use CGI, they tried to use practical effects, real set pieces, or doing like an Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania where like everything is a green screen. This movie had some real set pieces, real props, great costumes. So visually, I thought this movie was awesome and super entertaining. The music is so great in this film. It's like techno, electric, kind of pump up music. It very much reminds me of Thor Ragnarok, and if you enjoyed Thor Ragnarok, I can see you also enjoying this film. And honestly, if you don't take this movie too seriously, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, you'll have a good time, and like it's a fun film. Now, it's not a perfect film, and there are a couple of things that are big glaring issues with this film.
Wow, that was weird.
First things first, it's too long. 2 hours and 20 minutes, what are we doing? They're trying to build character in this film, and I appreciate that, and don't get me wrong, that's great, but they almost spend like too much time on Adam and like him on Earth and stuff like that. All the scenes that are on Earth, I actually don't know if they worked.
It's so boring, man.
Okay.
It's not until he finally, like the first 15 minutes of this film is great, and then there's a lull in the next like 25, 30 minutes of the film, and then when he finally gets back to Eternia, I think that's what it's called, when he finally gets back to his home planet, the movie kicks in again and gets going again. But there's definitely a lull in the first act of this film, and a lot of it is just the stuff on Earth just doesn't really work. And a part of that as well is the comedy. Boy, oh boy, there are some jokes in this film that do work, and it is funny at times, but I would say it's about 60%. The other 40% is this awful, awkward humor, and like they definitely relied too heavily on like, oh, this is an awkward moment. Hey, aren't we funny? Aren't we funny? Like, it's kind of like that humor.
He's a funny motherfucker.
It got so much and so overbearing, and it was happening so often that I really got sick of it by, 45 minutes into the film. And yet it still continued for another like hour and a half. So there's definitely some pacing issues. There's definitely some comedy issues with this film. The dialogue sucked. Like, I know it's a cheesy movie, but like, you can still have like interesting and cool dialogue. No, the dialogue in this film is really poor and made me laugh at times, intentionally and unintentionally. And often it was more unintentionally, to be honest. So yeah, the dialogue isn't great in this film.
This is bad. Very bad.
And there's maybe a little bit of running around that doesn't add anything to the plot of and the story of the film. And it's just like characters flying through things and running to this place, and it doesn't build up to anything. There are definitely some like gaps in the plot in this film. Like, it's trying to be a little too much like Thor Ragnarok. It's relying on that shtick a bit. This movie is almost like a mix of like Flash Gordon meets Thor Ragnarok with He-Man, right? Like, that's really what it feels like. So it doesn't feel very original in certain ways. But besides that, I thought this movie was wicked fun. Ultimately had an awesome time with Masters of the Universe. Definitely worth checking out. I think even if you don't know Masters of the Universe and He-Man and Skeletor and all those things, you will still have a great time with this film, as long as you are expecting like a cheesy, over-the-top, ridiculous adventure film. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Masters of the Universe a B+. Thank you so much for checking out Mr. Teach Film Preach. If you like this video, make sure you click that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. Also, comment down below, what did you think of Masters of the Universe? Did you like this film? Are you a big fan of the original? What is your favorite sci-fi space action adventure movie? Come back and check out some other movie reviews such as Obsession, The Mandalorian and Grogu, and the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next film.